Have you ever had someone you rejected try to tell you everything that's wrong with you? Look, oh, you didn't dump me. I'm dumping you. And here's why. I'm like, okay. Like they're trying to cut you so deep, but it doesn't actually sting when everything they say about you is wrong. You didn't date long enough for them to know anything about you. Oh, and especially if they don't have the balls to say it to your face. Hello, I'm Kelly Shanley, a stand-up comic who spent 10 years on the dating apps in LA. Yeah, I know. And these are my stories. Welcome to the Dating is Nuts podcast. This is episode 215, a text message psychoanalysis from a 42-year-old man. Yeah, that's a good one. If you missed my last date with Carter, check out episode 213 to catch up. Or if you haven't heard any of these dates and need to start from the beginning, head back to episode 201, and then eventually I will see you back here. And don't forget to check out our Patreon. That's right, if you like the show, you can sign up to give financial support for just $7 a month. Yeah. Head over to the link in the show notes to become an OG Lover Nutter today. Okay, now back to the episode. It's a good one. The volume of texts and calls from Carter and the push for me to come visit him had escalated as quickly as that street fight in Anchorman. I wanted to go into hiding like Sweet Brick after he killed that guy with a trident. My version of hiding was to plan a backpacking trip with my mom and sister into the desolation wilderness of South Lake Tahoe. Just a quick 3-day trip, but still some respite from the onslaught of text messages in no reception zones with picturesque mountain views and some goddamn peace and quiet. Just what my soul needed. After our quick trip, I had to get back to LA for some doctor's appointments to check on some lumps in my breasts. Yes, both breasts. Woohoo! Yeah. Now, this is a stressful situation for any woman, but it was slightly compounded for me by the fact that both my mom and her sister have had breast cancer twice. So yeah, the threat of potentially having breast cancer at the age of 35 was very real and very much freaking me out. And the thought of spending the night at Carter's was just compounding my anxiety.
Hello? I'm anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
I was trying to figure out if I could make it all work. So I was going to hike out from backpacking, drive home, shower. If you've ever been backpacking, you know how long that first shower back in civilization can take, too. Okay. Yeah. Then I would pack up my car, drive to Carter's, spend the night, and then drive the next day down to LA to make it to my doctor's appointment. Yeah, it was a lot. After consulting with my mom and sister, I realized that I didn't really want to visit Carter. I was just doing it for him. It was obvious to them, but I hadn't noticed this remnant of my people-pleasing habits camouflaged inside my lack of self-trust like a chameleon. So I poured myself a glass of whiskey and I called him. I made a concerted effort not to skirt around any subjects. I told him I couldn't come visit him, and these were my reasons. 1, logistics. It was just too much to do in one day. To hike out, pack, and then drive down to him. Plus, I had my cat with me. 2, headspace. Okay, I was very anxious about my doctor's appointments, and I didn't want to blurt things out like tumor or I have dense breasts during what was supposed to be a romantic evening. 3, pressure. So much pressure. I just felt like things were moving too fast. Him calling and texting me every day and planning an overnight was just more than I was ready for after knowing him for like 2 weeks. I needed some space. Carter listened, well, sort of, and then offered, well, why don't I just come visit you in LA instead? At first, I thought that was a very generous and understanding offer. But once we were off the phone, I realized that all he had heard was the logistical argument because that he could fix. He seemed very unconcerned with my actual feelings of anxiety and just continued texting me constantly. At that point, I felt dismissed. I had spent all this time trying to be respectful and communicate with him, and none of it had landed. I would have to be more direct. So this is the text he got from me. I don't think you heard me when I said I needed some space, but this clump of text messages is what I'm talking about. Let me reach out to you. Finally, he relented. My intention with that text was exactly what I said. I needed some space, but I would reach out to him when I was ready. It was never intended as a see you never text. The next day, after taking some time to see how I felt, I asked Carter if we could talk. He agreed, and we made a phone date for the following afternoon. In the meantime, dry lightning struck all over California, and if you remember 2020, virtually half the state was burning. Mom, Sis, and I made the sad decision to cancel our backpacking trip. We didn't want to be those idiots who got caught out backpacking in a lightning storm and had to drain precious resources from the search and rescue efforts that were already desperately needed across the state. When I called Carter the next day at our designated phone date time, I mentioned this in our little small talk warm-up, and he told me some stuff about work, and, then we got to our conversation. I reiterated my feelings about wanting things to slow down a bit and told him that I thought it would be nice if we hung out the next time we were both up in Tahoe. Carter made it pretty clear that he had no interest in seeing me again. He was all mm-hms and okays, and I realized that this thing was ending right then and there, on the phone. So I asked him, do you have anything you'd like to say to me? Questions? Concerns? Rants? Anything you want to get off your chest? He said no. So I thanked him for the phone call and hung up. I was relieved. Things hadn't gotten ugly and we had cleared the air. Or so I thought. I was wrong. 4 hours later, I received a series of long-winded texts from Carter. Apparently, he did have some things to say to me. He just didn't want to do it on the phone. I now present to you a text message psychoanalysis of me from a 42-year-old man, accompanied by my inner monologue. Please enjoy. So thank you for the call earlier, Kelly. I wasn't expecting that after your very poignant text from the other day. Passive-aggressively telling me I'm insensitive? Okay, strong opening. You asked me if there was anything I wanted to say to you, and at the time there wasn't because I had already written you off. Really, dude? We scheduled this phone call a day ago. If you'd already written me off, why pick up the phone? But I appreciate your offer, and I'm surprised at your willingness given the evidence of your admissions in our conversations. What is this, an LSAT prep class rejection letter? What admissions? Oh, do you mean my feelings? So I'd like to take a moment to say one or two things that I hope will help how you see me or see yourself, if even just through my eyes. How I see you would have been fine had you not sent this uninvited, self-indulgent, wildly inaccurate psychoanalysis of a person you've hung out with like 4 times, okay? And when I say that you're wildly inaccurate, it's not because I see myself as without flaws. It's simply that you have missed them on all counts. It dawns on me that you've mentioned numerous situations that you've painted yourself as helpless or the passenger/viewer in action that happens around you. Okay, it's tricky to figure out how someone might become a stand-up comedian or dating columnist by being a passenger/viewer, but okay. I hadn't really noticed until just now that when you got overwhelmed with our conversation or the lightning storm you mentioned. Wait, seriously? That shit was nuts. Like the whole state was on fire. There was literally dry lightning above my house, okay? And I wasn't overwhelmed by our conversation. That shit was awkward. That's all. Even with the prep for your backpacking trip or the prep for your shows, you're always sober when those things happen. Yeah. I generally prefer to be sober when I'm organizing my food, clothing, water, and gear for 3 days in the wilderness. I don't know. Is that weird? And when we were able to get together and get to know each other and enjoy each other, you've always had a couple drinks of liquid courage. Okay, wait. So you're shaming me for backpack prepping sober and saying I can't stand to be around you when I'm sober, thereby declaring yourself more dull than backpacking prep? Is that what you meant? I mean, you said it, not me. Once you had a drink, we got along great. But the sober you has proven to be incredibly sheltered and overwhelmed by even friendly chatter or mild interactions. Sorry. You're saying I can only be around you when I'm drunk? Is that why you made those Manhattans so strong? That's bad for both of us, man. The sober you. You know what? I'm getting here. You don't like sober me. I think that just means you don't like me. And that's okay. And overwhelmed and sheltered. No, I was just annoyed by the excessive amount of text messages, bro. That pangs me. I'm sorry to hear that you don't even have friendly enough interactions with your friends to pass music back and forth or let them ask you how you're feeling. They're literally reading screenshots of the conversation right now while listening to a Spotify playlist that I sent them, okay? All this before you even scratch the surface of romance and flirtation. It pangs me because I would have loved to have gotten to that point. It pangs you again? Dude, don't act like you were just trying to be my friend, okay? You openly admitted to stalking me on the internet, reading my writing, watching my stand-up. Like, you kissed me and called me beautiful, okay? Don't try to gaslight me into thinking you were just trying to be my friend. No, don't do that. Don't do that. I know you're going through some internal turmoil with the cancer/lump scare. Trust me, I've been there. I even opened up to you about it. Yeah, you did. After I opened up to you about my breast cancer concerns, which you later cited as evidence of me being helpless. I hope that maybe this event will help you open up to the people around you more. Because not opening up to the people around you will leave you in a chasm of superficial interactions. Ooh, chasm. Good word. I do open up to people, okay? Just not you. You mentioned in your acts that you're not able to find someone with a genuine interest in you. Have you been in LA so long that you don't recognize that as a SoCal trait? You don't know that you're falling for it yourself? Oh, I'm sorry, because dating outside of LA is so perfect? I don't think so. Also, stand-up comedy is a heightened version of reality, okay? The aim is to be funny, not 100% accurate all the time. All right, relax, take a joke, smile more. I may be unusual as well. That's fine, dude. I'm a weirdo, all right? Do you? I may be too open, too honest, too forward, too ready to communicate, too ready to connect, and too over the top with my belief that all people should be more open with those around them. Okay, but being open doesn't just mean talking. It also means listening. But I'm at least not going to lament not having spoken with the randoms I meet on a daily basis. More talking. Or reaching out to that cute girl who's my neighbor in Tahoe. And more talking. Nor will I regret having sent those texts that were on my mind. Even more talking. Talking, so much talking, not a lot of listening. What you're going through is just a scare for you. Oh, well, that's mighty omniscient of you. And I hope it's the catalyst that breaks you out of your shell. It's not a shell. It's a bubble filled with people who I love and trust. And you are not in it. I'd love to be along for the ride, but it seems like you need to do it on your own. And I wish you luck with it. Because you are not the kind of person I would imagine allowing anyone to help them with it. Bro, I don't need your help. But in the end, I hope you find comfort in who you are and who you want to be. Good luck to you, Kelly. And I wish you the best in your love, your life, and your work. You really think you just did me a favor, don't you? Just taught me all about myself. Oh, thank you so much.
You mansplaining, microaggressive bobo cabron!
And that concludes the psychoanalysis portion of the episode. Thank you. Thank you. I did not reply to Carter after that. I saw no point in arguing with him over what kind of person I am. He missed it. He didn't see me. That's okay. I didn't really let him. We weren't that close. This is not the first time my reservations have been mistaken for insecurity or character flaws by some dude. Just because someone isn't into you doesn't mean you have the obligation or the right to send them a text diatribe telling them everything you think is wrong with them. They're either self-aware enough to already know their own flaws, or so unaware that they haven't acknowledged them yet. Your inaccurate character assessment is not going to wake them from their own personal Groundhog Day of being unlucky in love, okay? It's not the favor you think it is. And if you really can't help yourself, at least have the balls to do it over the phone when the opportunity is clearly presented to you, instead of slinking off and sending it via text later.
Like a little bitch.
You kidding me? You put it in writing, you never know. It might just end up on the internet. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave us a review and a comment, and tell your friends, okay? Seriously, if you thought of anyone during this episode, I don't know, maybe someone who once inaccurately psychoanalyzed you, or someone you know who's been inaccurately psychoanalyzed by a jilted lover. There's a lot of us out there. Yeah, you should send this to them. Obviously, it helps me when you share this, but I genuinely hope that it helps you too, to feel slightly less alone in your chaotic dating journey. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and be sure to tune into the next episode where, well, we've kind of reached the end. I think we're going to find out who the guy is. I'm still Kelly Shanley, and I will see you next time, Lover Nutters. If they don't have the balls to say it to your face. Remy, stop meowing. Remy, sit still. Clacky toenails. Long-winded text messages from Carter telling me, you mentioned in your acts